Thank you very much. I would first like to thank Richard for having us here. We feel a great opportunity to present CoinDash in the Netherlands. We know you guys are very involved. Just a slight correction, I'm also the community director and I'm more involved with the community than the marketing, but we'll let it slide. So, I present myself. My name is Avissar. I am the Director of Community and Marketing at CoinDash. Little bit of background about myself. I'm actually a lawyer specializing in M&A and financing of startup companies, and a CPA previously working at Ernst & Young in Israel. I'm not a tech guy, I'm not a developer. My knowledge and my tools in the engineering space are very limited. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I want to point out that what CoinDash is really all about is bringing the cryptocurrency world to the masses and allowing everybody to participate in this amazing thing and not just a closed group of Bitcoin geeks. So, before I actually dive into the presentation, I want to give you a clear stand where we at CoinDash see the situation at the moment. So, although price is currently exploding, surging, everything goes up, market cap is amazing. We just reached 100 billion market cap. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are still far away from being mainstream. You might hear it from your friends that never used to say it before. You might get asked to buy them Bitcoin or to get them in. But the fact is that still many of the population has no idea about it and even nothing to do to get in. The reason for that is that, first of all, when somebody wants to go in the market, he faces a very critical barrier, a technological barrier. He has to wire funds to an exchange. He has to generate his address, download a wallet, place some orders. Those are stuff that normal people doesn't really know how to do. Some of them knows how and actually succeed passing that barrier. And then they're entering into an endless pool of information. News popping out every day, dozens of Bitcoin magazines, hundreds of sites, many social media channels. He tweets that, he tweets the other thing. It's really hard to focus. ICOs coming now every week. I'm 5 years in the industry, and I'm missing the ICOs right now by the dozens because I'm just not keeping track. I want to say before, I forgot to explain to you my background in the industry, so I'll jump back. I'm 5 years now in this space, mostly doing participating in ICOs for myself and for others. I recently led the community and marketing at Matchpool, if you heard of it. We just recently ICO'd as well. And that's it, but I will just go back to where I was before. So even after passing the critical barrier of the tech side and entering into this endless pool without even having any tools to decide what you want to do, some of them actually succeed in picking up great ICO, golem, unicorn, and actually making some money. But then how do they monitor their performance? I mean, once it was only Bitcoin, you put your money into Bitcoin and you have your dollars against your own currency, against the Bitcoin, two variables equation. Now with all the tokens, you have like 1,000 tokens. To actually track your performance is quite impossible. You have to use some Excel sheets, which we all know are not scalable, and you have to manually enter some price every other day. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. Eventually, all those barriers keeping guys from getting in. And we are actually losing, I don't know the number, but tremendous amount of user each day. So that is what we at CoinDash actually aim to solve. So before we actually go, just I want to get an understanding to the crowd I'm talking to. We already saw you're already holding Bitcoin and Ether. Which one of you guys, raise your hand if you're holding any other altcoins? Of course, heard about ICOs. Participated in ICOs lately? Okay, so we're in pretty good shape. Still, I will keep the Q&A till the end of the presentation. If I'm saying something you have no idea what I'm talking about, please stop me and I will explain it. So, let's dive in. The opportunity. It's big, yeah. Just look at those numbers. Market cap, the entire market cap is now over $100 billion. Actually, we are having a hard time keeping track of it. We have to change our presentation now every 2 days. We started at 40 billion just 2 months ago, I think, 3 months ago, and now we're just like updating it daily. Also, the daily trading volume is amazing. Just to give you a clue where we were, in last September, the entire market cap was $16 billion. So it's an explosion. Somebody mentioned here the tulip bubble. I was not aware about the connection between. I knew it's from the Netherlands, but I never did it in my head. It's exactly that. There is a bubble. It's for the good and for the bad, but there's a bubble. Another nice term we need to address here is what we call Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is a term we are using to measure the Bitcoin volume out of the entire market cap volume. Dominating around 85% throughout most of its history. Since 2017 until now, we are actually standing at only 45%. This is a major change. This doesn't mean that people have lost interest in Bitcoin. It just suggests that people are finding now more coins interesting, or finding more ICOs they want to participate. And it's also getting to the point that these days, maybe the most common use case of blockchain, although we want to take it to governmental issues and stuff that we have really seen here, but now we have to admit that the most common use case is just creating assets, participating in ICOs, creating new tokens that does that and does this. So we are there. And the reason I'm addressing it because, as I will say in a few minutes, all of those things actually makes it harder to monitor your performance, because now you're holding several tokens, not just one. Last on this issue, I just like to address the thing that in the past we get used to having Bitcoin price goes up and all altcoins go down, or vice versa. But now we actually see them both rising unstoppably for like a few months now. And that's actually a conclusive evidence that new money is entering the market by the day. Okay, so I've been saying this word ICO many times. I understand now that almost everybody here knows about it. I will just have a quick description for those who doesn't. ICO is a term when normal companies, old-fashioned companies, want to raise money to fund their operation. They're doing financial rounds in return for equity or debt. These days, crypto-based companies using a special mechanism called ICO, initial coin offering. As the name suggests, in return for the investment, they are sending their users, their contributors, a designated token they are making. This token can be best described as a license for future use of the platform, of the product. But unlike other license purchasing, this license has the ability to be traded back to Bitcoin or to Ether, which gives them an amazing ability to keep their funds liquidity. It's going big. It started very small. Once we had one ICO every couple of months. Now we have them by the week. Just look at the numbers. We already passed 2016 number of raising funds just by the first quarter. This is not my friend. Yeah, I'll do it the old way. So ICOs are huge. I just took several examples from the past weeks. You can have a look. Let's say match pool in 6 million days in 1 day, $6 million in 1 day. Melon Pool 2.5 just in 3 minutes. Storage actually did their second round ICO, now raising 33 million in few days. Aragon 25 few minutes, and BAT just now raised $36 million in less than a minute. Less than a minute. It was probably all pre-sale, but again, so the thing is that it's getting more common. I don't know if you heard, but now as a company, a unicorn company, which means that it's a private company that is valued over $1 billion, named Kik, is now throwing an ICO. They raised before $200 million, I believe, and now they're trying to raise another another $100 million through the ICO. And take special, look at the time frame that we're talking about here. It's not it's not just the amount they're raising, it's the time frames. I mean, you can't even enter an ICO. How many people here have tried to enter an ICO lately but didn't succeed? Okay, you're in good form. In bad, yeah. In bad, that was day after traded 10 times higher than the ICO. So, yeah, sure. So the point is that we have thousands of coins right now, and every day our ability to actually do something about it and manage the portfolio is getting lower. So the problem, we are seeing Bitcoin price goes up. I've established that new money is coming into the system, raising the market cap, raising the prices. It's all good. ICOs are exploding. We're making tons of money in ICOs. So not all good for two reasons. First, it's still not enough. So people do get in, I know, I see it myself, but still millions and billions are left outside and can't pass the barriers that I talked to you about before. They don't have the tools, they don't have the knowledge, and they just can't get in. Those who do manage, again, finding themselves without any skills, without the knowledge, without the tools, and without the understanding on where they are. And believe it or not, the day will come when they're all going to probably lose their money. Because now everything works, right? You might not see it now because everything goes up, every ICO is successful, but only when the market is going to settle down, and it will. I'm not even talking about correction, just settling down, then these guys will probably lose their money, and we don't know if they're going to be back again. And this is something that we can't have. We can't lose those people. If we want Bitcoin to scale, if we want the cryptocurrency economy to be in a daily use, we can't lose newcomers. We even have to bring in more. And this is what we aim to change at CoinDash. So, what is CoinDash all about, really? CoinDash is a platform. It's a three-layer platform for new users and for existing ones. It gives the users an adequate tools to manage their portfolios and to maximize their gains. The first layer, as you can see, is the tools. The portfolio management tool. I talked to you about it before. There aren't really any other option to track your performance right now. So you kind of have to insert everything into one Excel sheet and update it manually. And prices are going crazy every day, and it's taking a lot of time. What we actually have is a platform that can take only your address, only your public key, trace back on all the transactions you made through it, in, out, investment in a smart contract, and just by a simple click can generate all the price lists over that existing time and benchmark it to the market, allowing you to see exactly what are your performance regarding to others and the market. Then you can see if you've been successful in USD dollars, in dollars, it doesn't mean that you're actually profitable in Ether or in Bitcoin. Second things we have is actually risk. I don't know the word, but it gives you a clear picture about the risk you are taking. By the price volatility of your tokens in your portfolio, we can actually benchmark it to other users and see if you're taking an aggressive approach, if you're being more mellow. Then another thing we have certain things that we have in mind, but those things are actually implemented and working. But we also have coin price tickers that can allow you to enter position precisely. The second layer is the social trading layer. Perhaps the edge we are bringing to the table. We allow our users, as the blockchain is open source and free to everyone to watch. We allow also our users to see other users' portfolios. By doing so, a new user, for example, can actually see an experienced user and kind of copy his trades, see what this guy is holding, and do the same. The meaning is that a new user that has no tools, have no idea what to do, can actually see a proven trader with successful record that can be actually benchmarked if he's doing above the market or below it, and do the same. The idea is that they, at least for first time, try to do that and then go by themselves, or even just stay and do as others do. On the other side of it, you have those experienced traders that are making tons of money and are doing their portfolio very good. And they can now earn some points, some tokens, some value doing their day-to-day trade, just by allowing other people to see what they are doing. Another great feature we have is the copy ICO. Now, this is done through smart contracts, where you send certain amount of your money from the portfolio into that smart contract, telling it, please follow X, Y, Z, and whatever they're investing in, please invest in my behalf. So the contract knows how to follow the user you're asking to, and it also knows how to verify the address he's sending money to as an ICO address. Once this user actually send his money, you automatically send your money as well. Effectively investing in your behalf, making you know you actually invested in quality ICO, because apparently this guy knows what he's doing and probably did his due diligence, and now you can just rely on him. But it can also mean that you can possibly guarantee that you are inside the ICO and don't have to be on the clock and in the counter. Because as we told you before, these things now end with seconds. And the third layer we have is like for the long run is actually becoming a marketplace. So we don't want only to manage your funds and your portfolio and help you invest in ICOs. We also want to help you execute your trades through the secondary market. This will be done after we gather enough data and resources in order to do that. Also, we want to do the connection for those users who didn't manage to get in the first time. So now they can actually log into their portfolio, log into our platform and do the purchase of their first Bitcoin, Ether, whatever. So actually, we are also helping experienced or new users and those who can't even get in. And of course, we have the developers layer, because we are an open source software, and we'd like to be able to integrate with all developers out there that want to improve something. So at the moment, we are integrating with the Ether network, simply because it's the easiest things to do. But we already proved that we can do the same with Bitcoin. We did some POCs back with Rootstack. If you don't know what Rootstack does, first of all, it's about time. Second of all, these guys are a serious group of Argentinians, and what they're basically doing is bringing the ideas behind smart contracts into Bitcoin. We did some POCs as well with some exchanges, Poloniex among others. And we, any other blockchain that will be, we took Polkadot as an example, but it's not such a big, we are pretty sure we can manage it. Okay, so what you are actually looking at right now is a snapshot of our already working beta. We have our beta now being tested by almost 50 guys from the community. Actually, you have one of them right over there, Radio Angel. We want to get some feedback. We want to get some inputs to give you the killer app that you want. Let's just dive in to see what we're actually looking at. So we took that address, and it's not mine, don't try to kidnap me or something. We just took it from Etherscan, and again, took the address, put it inside the platform, one click and generated all the data you are seeing right now. This guy over here obviously has a lot of money. It composes of 6 different tokens. You can see here only 3. I see Economy, Ethereum, and Melonport. And over there we can see the graph. This graph actually takes it 3 months back. Apparently this user has started trading other coins only in March. And interesting to see that on March 13, this guy had only Ether. By now, his portfolio, again, I'm sorry I missed it. The yellow graph is the market. In our case, Ethereum price. And the purple one is his portfolio. So you can see that he had only Ether back in March, and now his portfolio is like twice as big. So obviously this guy made nice profit in dollar values. But the more interesting point to see is that if this specific investor had left his Ether untouched in March, now he would almost triple his portfolio. Now, it might sound weird, but from questioning people that does trade, most traders doesn't even understand that. That's something that they never seen before. They never had a tool that told them that if they didn't touch their money and that, I say it again, every ICO they are taking, they are participating in is profitable, but not in Ether price. Only 2 weeks ago at Token Summit, Brian Liu, which is the founder of the Smith & Crown, a company that does research on the blockchain, he did an amazing presentation where he showed that from 2016 till this day, 60% of all ICOs were successful in dollar values. Only 40% were successful in comparison to Bitcoin, meaning if you had bought Bitcoin or this ICO, only 40% of the time the ICO would win. When it comes to Ether, it's only 20%. So although it sounds like all the ICOs here are doing amazingly, actually you're better off buying Ether. And people don't know that because they don't have those tools. This is just one of the things we're working on, but still it's not existing right now. And it's just an example how in one click you can have all the prices calculation, all your benchmarking to the market, and giving you insight you never thought you can get. It saves you time, it saves you energy, and it's a clean output of what we're actually doing and what you're doing. And again, this is just one address we took. You can actually get all your addresses, no matter where, and put them inside and get one portfolio. Meaning that if you have Ether at one address and you buy with it a Melonport and sending it back to your account at Poloniex, you will still see everything here automatically. No need to do all the Excel calculations and stuff. So, after I mumbled here for 20 minutes, I get to the point where I say that we are also doing an ICO. Before that, we will be launching our public beta. We strongly believe that any project out there raising money should first show a product. Unfortunately, almost nobody does that. Maybe you are honest. But that is something that we believe in very much. The beta is actually supposed to be before the ICO. The ICO terms and specs will be given in the following week. You can search for it in our site, coindash.io. What I can say at the moment is that, of course, it will be done through smart contract, thus in Ether. It will be in the beginning of July until mid-July, something like that. It will be capped. It won't go to the number that you saw before. We believe that we don't need these amounts of money to produce a product that we already have. We are expecting our our version 2 of the product to be on July 2018. A few words about our partners. We are very proud of them. We chose them carefully. Some of them I've been talking to in the presentation. Some are strategic partners, and some are direct investors. We believe, and our partners believe, that the data we are generating and we will generate can be used for many other things. And that's why they are willing to work with us. And I will finish my presentation with a few words about our team. We are currently based both in Israel, Tel Aviv, and China, in Shanghai. Alon, our CEO, is a brilliant developer. He had done many projects in the field. You probably heard about it. He leads the Israeli office, and Adam, his co-founder, actually comes from the fintech and financial industry. He lives in Beijing. This is his 8th year over there. He's a fluent Chinese speaker, which amazes everyone in China. It's a big advantage. And again, to that point, us having both offices in the West and in China and those regions is a major advantage. We are getting tons of support from the community, investors from all around the world hearing about us, both in Chinese and in English. And we believe that we will be able to generate a quite nice community and driven the product outside. And I believe that's it.
Thanks very much, Ram. That's exciting. And when can we try the product then? You said the published date is coming out?
Yeah, it will be before the ICO. Right now, only specific guys with technical knowledge know how to do that.
Are you accepting volunteers from the audience?
Of course, you can contact us.
Yep.
Not by hand right now because I won't remember. But you get out on our site, send us an email, and we'll talk to you.
Okay, but there will be a more open one also for the general public before the ICO.
There will be one. We are even, maybe I'm not supposed to say it, but we are even considering pouring a certain amount of the ICO through the beta, being the first project actually to raise funds for its own product.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be published.
Okay, good to hear. Okay, questions?
So there are several ways to, because what you're doing is raising money for your company. Why not do a traditional IPO or find some private investors? What's the point in doing it through an ICO? Why choose this way?
Third question. It's been asked a lot in recently. The thing is, basically ICO, nobody could tell you differently, is for getting funding, right? The thing is that we want to keep ourselves the possibility of doing maybe later something else, another ICO, and even more important, we are setting aside a nice amount of tokens that we want to use them to buy more users in the long run. Meaning people that now know how to operate ICOs can possibly buy our tokens and get into the platform and do it. But people that has no idea, we need something to incentivize them to get in. So a large amount of the tokens we are selling, and I won't get too specific, you can see it in a week, but a nice portion of it is going to be actually used for future incentivizing new users, user acquisition cost. You can call it. And I see no other way of doing it instead of ICO. Also, the coin will also help us generate the platform. As I said before, you would like to follow others, you will have to pay a fee. This fee will go, a certain amount of it will go to the platform, yes, but the majority of whatever is going to go to the person you are following. So you have to have inner token to do that. So combining all those together seems to me pretty much a logic idea. I can understand where you're coming from. ICOs has now become like every other day, people without anything doing ICOs in major amounts. As I hinted before, it won't be those amounts. It will be capped. We will try to make it as decentralized as we can. And we will take only what we think is needed to do the product, not more.
Other questions in the back?
Hello. When we first initially looked at the slides, you said the problems were it's a new market that people don't understand, and there were a lack of management tools. So I'm assuming that CoinDash will somehow help new people and companies enter the market of cryptocurrency, but at the same time enable them to manage. Does this mean that CoinDash will request, will your application have authority to transfer my funds through my exchanges, whichever they may be? Like, can I use your app to automate my trading?
Okay. So, first of all, I'll get something clear. When we're speaking about management tools, we're only asking for your public key. We are only having your address, your private keys is in your hands. We are not touching them. We are just following what you're doing by tracing back your accounts. There's no security issues even to think about here. And no, we won't do things for you, not at this point. We would like to see your performance, so you can understand that you're doing something wrong. And you will also have the opportunity to follow somebody else and see what he's doing, and maybe second guess and think about what you're doing. Regarding the first thing you said, like, about getting people inside, yes, that's what I addressed it in the third level, in the marketplace. This will be done much later. We will try to make it easier for people that have no ideas, have no knowledge get in. But first, we're focusing on helping you as a user, a new user or experienced one, but as one who actually holds cryptocurrencies, to take the right decision. By actually analyzing better what you're doing. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. Although it does not answer the question of how you will help new users use cryptocurrencies more efficiently, or I believe I can be good, or make them more accessible to people who have no idea what cryptocurrencies are.
Okay, so I will repeat the question for you. This nice guy was asking still, how does CoinDash going to help new users just entering the market? And again, I will repeat my previous answer, but maybe enhance it a bit more. It will be done later on when we have enough resources and enough database to know how to funnel it for the right decision making. But at the first step, we're going to allow you to send your fiat and get tokens. This is what I meant when I said about secondary market, about having an execution of transaction. So you can, it's way before us, but this is where we are headed now, and this is what we have in mind, in vision of becoming a marketplace. Taking your fiat and converting it to tokens, and then you can use all the other layers of managing your portfolio.
Okay, I believe I do understand. So what you're trying to say is that initially you'll focus on existing users and help them track their records and do better trades, essentially. And in the future, you will focus your attention on new users and attract them to cryptocurrency.
Well, the future is out there. You are right that at the moment we are more focused about helping existing new users, either new or experienced, to do their trades and to know what they're doing and have a better, clear vision, again, in a very simple way of their records. Let's talk in the future.